Imagine this: a solemn procession, a grieving family, and a coffin ready to be lowered into the ground. But just as the final goodbyes were about to be said, a massive bear appeared out of nowhere, halting the funeral in its tracks. What happened next would defy all expectations and leave everyone bewildered. Brace yourself for a story that will challenge your understanding of the natural world. A journey from the countryside to the city. Carla, a woman, arrived in a small town in Southern California after communism ended. Her parents owned a big piece of land and started a small tobacco factory. Since she was a child, Carla had to help on the farm, which took up a lot of her time and left her with little free time. This was especially true during the harvest season when she had to take care of the animals and manage the factory. Carla's family did well in business and farming, but she grew tired of it. Her friends in a nearby town told her stories about how they could read books, play, and watch TV, while Carla had to work all the time. This made her decide that when she grew up, she would leave the countryside, go to college, and experience city life, where she wouldn't have to do the same work every day. When Carla shared her plans with her parents, they strongly disagreed. They told her she couldn't leave and wanted her to stay with them and keep working on the farm and factory. They even pointed out her younger brother, Paul, who had quit school at 16 to join the family business. But Carla remained firm in her decision. She felt unhappy because she desired more from life. One day, when the rest of her family went to church, Carla took the opportunity to escape and traveled to Chicago. She left a mysterious letter for her family, mentioning that she had gone to college without revealing the location. Although the journey was stressful, Carla felt content about her choice. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to persevere and not give up. She mentally prepared herself for the challenges that lay ahead, from struggle to success. When Carla arrived in Chicago, she realized she needed money. She started asking people she didn't know for spare change because she had to start somewhere to think about going to college. But on her second day on the street, a man named Charlie came up to her. Charlie was surprised to see a lively young girl asking strangers for money, so he asked Carla why she was doing it. Carla honestly shared her plans with Charlie, which touched him. As a result, Charlie offered Carla a job and a place to live. When Carla heard this, she couldn't believe it, and tears of happiness filled her eyes. She began working soon after and saved enough money to rent a small apartment. Later, she pursued studies in economics and law. During her studies, she worked hard and became one of the top students in her class. Carla knew she didn't have any connections, so she understood that she had to put in more effort than others to have a chance at success. Luckily, the man who had been helping her in Chicago recommended her to the boss of a big company that provided economic solutions. It turned out that the boss was Charlie's cousin. This company was one of the largest businesses in the city, and Charlie introduced Carla as a talented, ambitious, and dedicated young woman. The boss decided to give Carla an opportunity. This marked the beginning of Carla's own career, and she achieved tremendous success: the unexpected reunion. Carla, despite not keeping in touch with her family, didn't know what to say to them. She felt successful in her life and believed she didn't owe anything to her parents. However, one day she received a surprising phone call from her younger brother, Paul. Paul's friends in Chicago saw an advertisement for the company where Carla worked and informed Paul about it. After thinking it over, Paul decided to contact his sister. During the call, Paul delivered the sad news that their mother had passed away 2 years ago and their father had just died 2 days ago. This news came as a shock to Carla, although she had been preparing for such an eventuality. Despite not having any contact with her family for 15 years and not really knowing her brother anymore, Paul asked Carla to attend the funeral. Though hesitant, Carla, who was already married and expecting a child, agreed to go alone. Upon returning to her homeland, Carla found that not much had changed on the family farm during her absence. Paul greeted her and filled her in on what had happened after Carla left for Chicago. As Carla had expected, her parents didn't take her departure well. They had initially believed it was temporary and that she would return home when she faced hardships. However, as time passed, they realized she wouldn't come back. Their mother grew increasingly saddened by this. When she died of cancer, she regretted not being able to say goodbye to her eldest child. Their father, on the other hand, neglected himself and left all responsibilities to Paul. The only thing he cared about was his pet bear, who had saved him from potential death in the forest. The father had helped the wounded bear, and it became fiercely loyal to him, even displaying human-like behavior. After her guardian's death, the bear appeared to be deeply unhappy. The Bear's Gift: Carla's Journey of Advocacy for Animals. During an evening conversation, Carla shared her life experiences and the challenges she had faced. Suddenly, everything went black for her. The next thing she remembered was waking up in a wooden coffin, surrounded by her father's ashes that Paul had shown her the day before. She could hear muffled sounds of a funeral and Paul's strange shouts, urging for a quick burial without following the usual religious rituals. Everyone was taken aback by what Paul did, but they believed he was deeply affected by their father's passing. Carla found herself inside the coffin next to her father, but she couldn't move or talk because Paul had drugged her. Just as they were about to lower the coffin into the grave, Carla suddenly heard screams and a loud thud as the coffin hit the ground, causing it to break open. From within the coffin, Carla caught a glimpse of a bear's eyes, but the animal was searching for something else. Failing to find it, the bear dashed off into the forest, dragging a piece of string that someone tried to grab. Carla, paralyzed with fear, noticed a group of people gathered at the cemetery. Among them was a local police officer who also happened to be Carla and Paul's cousin. The officer explained what had transpired. It turned out that Paul was furious because their father's will had left half of the farm to Carla. Paul resented his older sister for leaving home and coveted the farm for himself, especially after witnessing Carla's success in Chicago. The bear had sensed a living presence inside the coffin and had attempted to liberate it, mistaking it for its owner. When Carla tumbled out of the coffin, the bear made its escape. The whole situation was absurd, and if Paul had confided in Carla about his emotions, she would have willingly relinquished her share of the farm. Carla packed her belongings and departed, choosing not to press charges against Paul. All she desired was to leave and never return. She came to realize that she owed her life to the bear, as if they shared a unique connection, displaying great courage by saving her. The relationship between humans and animals is a complex and affectionate bond that exists within a family. People who have pets or service animals strongly believe that animals can express various emotions like fear, anger, shame, excitement, and sadness. Animals see humans as part of their group, and this bond provides safety, security, and stability for both the family and their pets. In the aftermath of the bewildering events at the funeral, Carla embarked on a new journey of self-discovery. She devoted her life to understanding and nurturing the profound bond between humans and animals. Through extensive research and advocacy, Carla became a leading voice for animal rights, promoting compassion and empathy. Her extraordinary encounter with the bear at her father's gravesite became the catalyst for her life's work, inspiring others to recognize the interconnectedness of all living beings. Carla's legacy served as a reminder that our relationship with animals extends far beyond comprehension, forever challenging our understanding of the natural world. Carla's dedication and passion led to the establishment of a groundbreaking organization that focused on wildlife conservation and animal welfare. Her relentless efforts touched countless lives and left an indelible mark on the world, forever changing the way we perceive and protect our animal companions.